It is time for us to close out episode 4 here and shut down 430, a place of absence, and take down this boss here for us today, the Leavened One. We're going to break it all down for you in today's episode. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Thank you for the likes and the subs. And on top of that, if you got a question or comment throughout today's episode, certainly let me know because I'd love to hear from you. And feel free to join us in our amazing community Discord server. Now, this team here was the one that we used to get all the way through normal mode here. We got a different team that we're going to cover, one that is all epics as well, that I'm certainly excited about, particularly as a free-to-play player like yourself, or maybe you're a new returning player, veteran, or even a pay-to-win player. All right, so with that, we'll break down the 4 T's in today's episode. That's the team, the tactics, the treasure, and the toppings in order to help you succeed and overcome Leavened One here. Now, all that information is available to you down below in the details that you can check out here. We'll go for the run and pull it all back together as well. So let's get into it here. 430, a place of absence, Leavened One, normal mode. All right, so a couple things as always. First and foremost, we are in Beast Yeast. This land radiates with the power of the beast before you unfolds a landscape unlike anything you've seen in Crispia. Now, a couple things here. We do have special conditions. This is where beast kits really make a difference, particularly for Beast Yeast. Topping bonus effects don't matter, so keep that in mind. Now, additionally, we do run into the dual effects here that are from the episode 4, which is Yin and Yang and Apathy. Big pieces here. The Yang gauge increases when enemies attack, and the Yin gauge increases when allies attack or inflict darkness type damage. Enemies gain buffs when the Yang gauge is full, and allies gain buffs when the Yin gauge is full. Use a tactical skill to boost the Yin gauge and remove buffs from enemies. We also have Apathy here. Cookies affected by Apathy receive damage equal to a portion of the max HP every second, and this status is applied permanently. Peach Blossom Cookie or Mystic Flower Cookie can provide resistance to Apathy for your team. This is really important because it can really wipe your teams pretty quickly, so you just got to be very cognizant of that, and we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second. We also have healing decreased, HP shield capacity decreased, and enemies debuff resist increased. We also get to take advantage of Twin Dragons here. The team's Yin energy greatly increases if Yin and Yang has already been triggered. This effect will be activated at the end of Yin and Yang duration. Whenever enemies gain a buff, it will be removed. The Awakened King skill will enhance this effect as well. We'll hit a mob here of steamed tall toads, steamed koi, and steamed flat toads before we get to Leavened One. Now, the big thing about this boss, so we did 419 as well. The big piece here is really this. The HP is pretty much doubled. We also see the power pretty much doubled. So keep those things in mind. The movesets are also pretty much the same. So Enshrouding, Futility, passive becomes vulnerable to darkness type damage, but gains an increased base crit percent, and crit damage gains a buff whenever own HP reaches a certain level. We also have Touch of Meaninglessness, fires a projectile and deals damage to the nearest target. Again, I'll call this out because it doesn't say cookie. Whispers of Apathy deals damage to all targets and applies Apathy. Radiance of Apathy deals damage to all targets, restoring its own HP. This thing can be a problem. We will run into that probably a little bit here just because there's so much life, which gives it more time to take advantage of that, and maybe we'll see it. And then additionally, we got Brush of White Ink, deals damage to a random target and applies Apathy. Butterfly Dream deals damage to all targets and applies the Weary status to 2 enemies with the highest attack. So this is a new one here. That's why I said pretty much the same. We didn't have this before. It does go after your highest attacker, so that's key. Glyph of Apathy here as well, deals damage and causes injury to all targets. So we also have that to pay attention to. So couple things there with this particular one. So like I said, this was the team that got us all the way through normal mode, and today we do have an all epic one for you to help take this down. So let's target number team 3 setup. We made a couple of adjustments. So if you saw our 419 team coming to this one, survivability wasn't as good and damage output wasn't as great, so we made some key tweaks to make it happen. Now, this particular team, what we've done is we've moved to 2 kind of defense cookies. Survivability with both of these, because we do get the shield, also can help give us a little bit more life in terms of the ability to survive against the Leavened One. And then financier again here in terms of helping with your attackers survivability. We do have Peach Blossom. Peach Blossom is great for episode 4, again, to counteract apathy. Makes a huge difference. A very good boost in terms of health and kind of being able to keep us alive and healing, those kinds of things. Now, our main 2 damage dealers, we do have Creme Brulee and we do have Twizzly Gummy here. Makes the big difference. Creme Brulee, certainly a always key one for bosses. I know we didn't do it in 419. That was designed on purpose. Here, we definitely, I would say, recommended in terms of using Creme Brulee to kind of get by. Now, in terms of our treasures, we are on Dream Conductor's Whistle, we're on Old Pilgrim Scroll, and Squishy Jelly Watch. This is really attack and cooldown oriented. You could try Robes if you wanted to here. You could move in Sleepyhead's Jelly Watch there. Additionally, if you want the defense, Disciples Magic Scroll, probably not going to make as big of a difference just because that apathy, like we talked about in 419. Grim Looking Sigh could be an idea as well, giving you some alternatives. You may even want to consider something like Monocle to get the cleanse the debuffs as well if you're worried about apathy and those kinds of things as another idea. Now, in terms of our gear, don't forget topping bonus effects don't matter. This is why Biscuits really do. Now, when it comes to gear here for us specifically, a couple things. We do always recommend Radiant Resonant when it makes sense. And then additionally, on top of that, my friends, we have all the Biscuits that are specific for cookies. So Tainted, Resolute, whatever you want to call them. And then generally they're going to be on Legendary. Our Biscuits will be 3 or 4 typically. It's not necessarily required in terms of those substats. Ideal for you in Beast Yeast though, obviously. All of our playlists, guides, and topping Biscuit guides are available to you. You can check those out here on the channel. And a great way to stay in touch is that like and subscribe and turn on notifications so that you can see all those new updates as always. All right, so a couple things here in terms of Rebel Cookie. We were actually on Solid Almond. You could go on cooldown if you want to. Depending on your attack, you could go on attack too, but we did beat it with this. Our Biscuit here, we're at 27 and 32. There's a secret there that we've covered on the channel. Maybe you know what that is. You can let us know in the comments or check out that episode. Here we do have some good damage resist. We do have bypass as well. Good blend between the two. Here we're actually on defense as well. You could be on cooldown. Here we're at level 30. Here I like to show this because in 419 we didn't have Peach Blossom buffed up. We don't have it buffed up here, which gives you as a free-to-play player like myself or pay to win or noob or veteran some ideas on things where you can tweak. That's why I was like covering these pieces. Cooldown, attack, and HP. Here we are on crit for Twizzly. Twizzly's max here. We got great damage resist bypass. We got a few things we can tweak there. And Creme Brulee, we're on attack level 20. Again, ways for us to improve our own account. There you go. Damage resist bypass and crit. Now we do cover all these things in our topping guides so you can understand where to make some of those tweaks as well. And I always highly recommend that. All right, here we go, my friends. That is the tactics. That is the team. That is the treasures and the toppings in order to help you succeed and take down Leavened One. It's time for us to prove it here. And before we do, if you still got a question, if you got a comment, let me know because I love to hear from you, and join us in our amazing community. All right, and Discord server. All right, here we go, my friends. We're gonna go after Leavened One here and show you how this is gonna work. So again, when we've talked about Mystic Flower before in the past, getting that apathy on top as the buff for our team to get that additional health layer counteracts the apathy on you as they remove your health. So if you need it, going through and getting that bubble in with something like Rebel Cookie, just like that, giving you that additional health makes a difference. Here is where, there we go, you can get those apathy buffs off. You want to keep those off because that makes a huge difference for your survivability. Now here you are going to want to make sure that you're trying to use up these pieces so that you can get that damage in. You can keep that bar way up and take advantage of all that extra damage to kind of help you get through. Now we probably will lose Twizzly Gummy here. However, most of this should be predicated of the survivability and damage of Creme Brulee. We made it through actually. There we go. Look at that. Oh, right at the end. And made it happen for you with this particular team, as you can see. So very, very nice. We did lose Twizzly. We did make it through, which is key, and proved out this team works for you as an all-epic team and guide here for you today, as I like to say, our #1 free-to-play player for you here in the community. All right, so that is 430, A Place of Absence, the takedown and closeout of episode 4 here, normal mode of Leavened One, concluding the story of everything that you need to hear about dark cacao, which is pretty sweet, and I recommend definitely getting through that. Now, in case you're curious of some other swaps, things that you can certainly use here is flipping in other cookies that can give you that additional bubble, like I like to say here, your capacity shield, even though it's decreased. You could also go with a little bit more and switch up some of your attackers if you want to, something like a rye as an example. Obviously, if you have Mystic Flower, you could do those or any of the other stuff as you're kind of thinking about your tweaks. But you're definitely going to want at least Peach Blossom in here or Mystic Flower to kind of help you get through some of these bosses. And episode 4. So with that, my friends, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you still got a question, if you got a comment, let me know, because I love to hear from you as always, and join us in our amazing community and Discord server. We've got a lot of fun in there all the time. And with that, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate your support. Thank you for the likes and the subs as we continue to grow this amazing community here as always. And thank you to all of our members. We do have memberships available to you. Emotes, icons, priority access, videos, all kinds of stuff there that you can take advantage of. So thank you for that. We also got affiliate links. And don't forget my swag and merch store, my friends. Something there for everyone. Check it out. And don't forget my socials. At me, chat me, stay connected, because you might get featured here on the channel, as we like to say. So with that, get out there, close down episode 4, take down Leavened One, and unlock what is left of the storyline here for you today. With that, take care, my friends. We'll see you again soon. Enjoy the Leavened One and this boss battle, because it is pretty fun. And a little bit more of a kind of a twist on how to get by. And we showed you a couple of those things here today. And don't forget, keep on running.